to our panelists for being here today and for your service to our nation. I've got two questions I'd like to ask. First, we've read a lot about the future of the Air Force's fighter fleet, but I want to focus on a very specific portion of it right now. Due to the current Air Force recapitalization crisis, the FY12 budget request adds only about $15 million to the design and development of structural and capability modifications for the F-16 Block 40, 42, 50, 52 fleet. However, I believe a majority of the F-16s in the Air Guard fleet are flying Block 30s, which also includes the 177th Fighter Wing, which I represent. These aircraft are not in your current plan for service life extension program. My question is, how do you plan to maintain the Air Sovereignty Alert mission if these planes can't fly, if you don't provide the same modifications to the aircraft at our National Guard wings? I think this is confusing and sends a very bad message. And second question I have is that I've been surprised by reports that the Air Force is considering a sole source approach to buying helicopters to replace its fleet of Hueys for the Common Vertical Lift Support Platform program. I anticipate a competition would be a fair one, wouldn't favor any one particular company or solution, and it's puzzling to me why a decision has not been made to have this competitively bid. Given that the mission is U.S. only, non-combat, non-deployable, can we be assured that the Air Force is going to give consideration to affordable solutions in this time of budget crisis that are commercial, off-the-shelf, not in the current inventory? I think it would be a shame to waste what could be up to billions of dollars buying something that is overkill just for the convenience that it is already in the Pentagon inventory. Whoever would choose to.
Well, thank you, Congressman. I'll answer your first question, and my friend Shack will answer your second question, sir. The first one referenced the F-16s and the ASA alert. Air Force fully funded the program for ASA alert, and clearly that is our primary mission, is Homeland Defense, and we are committed to that mission. With respect to the service life extension, how we're going to maintain that fleet, the Block 30, the pre-blocks as we call them, Block 25, 30, and 32s, using structural sustainment, using O&M funding, those airplanes, our intent would be to fly those to the 8,000-hour limit of those airplanes, which brings those airplanes out into the late in this decade and early in the 20s. We're going to do a service life extension program to include structure and capability modifications of Block 40s and 50s, the newest, most capable F-16s. And as F-35s start coming off the line, we will move those Block 40s and 50s backfill in Block 25, 30, and 32 units. So the cascade of iron will be as F-35s come in to both the Guard and the active duty, then we'll take the newest F-16s that do have the SLEP modernization and both and capability improvements and move those into the units that have the older aircraft, the Block 25s, 30s, and 32s, sir.
Just a brief comment, if I could, that it just seems that without the modifications, if the F-35 continues to slip, these F-16 Block 30s are made more irrelevant and incapable of doing the mission. I would hope somebody would consider that. And for the second part of the question, General?
Yes, sir. If I might just elaborate on that for a second. The SLEP for the Block 40s through 52s leads to a production kit buy out in just beyond this current FIDIP. That is prior to the time when the Block 30s, 25, 30, and 32 are expected to time out with their service life, which is between 2018 and 2021. So we still have time in the future if we need to go back to those pre-blocks to further modify them to pick that up. It's too early to be putting that into the budget right now.
Okay.
Now, regarding your question about Common Vertical Lift Support Platform, clearly there are a number of vendors. We believe 3 or 4 different companies are able to produce the type of helicopter that we're looking for there. So we have a wide range of options to choose from as we finalize the acquisition strategy. I expect that to be a competitive acquisition strategy so that we can take advantage of competition and so that we can get the best arrangement that we can for the Air Force and the taxpayer.
Okay. Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.